everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Shay Renee, and today we're going to talk about the Married to Medicine reunion part 1. Okay, so what do y'all think about this reunion? Like, I feel like this reunion was more exciting than the actual season, in my opinion. Okay, I feel like it was filled with it kind of brought us back to COVID and how it affected different people, different families, and all of those different things. It just brought back so many thoughts of how it affected my family individually and just so many people around me. So I know that the show shed light on it from the perspective of the physicians and, you know, affluent individuals and how it affected them. So in the beginning of the show, they talked about how the pandemic made it where Dr. Heavenly had to shut down her business. Then they introduced Anila. Okay, so Dr. Heavenly had to shut down her business. Simone and Dr. Jackie were talking about how basically they never got a break. They never got a break from the pandemic because people are obviously always going to be having babies. Always, you know, there's always going to need to be a doctor on hand to make sure that happens, right? So they didn't get a break. So where a lot of us probably got a little bit of a break with our families, they didn't. So they shed some light on that. But then they also introduced Anila. They talked about Anila, her family life, you know, her having a different cultural background, which I thought Anila coming to the season was actually a great addition. Anila brings, like I said, that different cultural aspect. She sheds light on, she's an actual wife, which I see that in a lot of, if you see in a lot of these reality shows, they're kind of steering away from that for some reason. But I think that that's why we watch these shows, right? We want to see that family dynamic. We got to see her children. We got to see her husband, which is an actual doctor. So it was very refreshing to have Anila, and they showed how Toya actually introduced her. Okay, so we'll get into how they, you know, as we saw as the season progressed, their relationship kind of broke down, and just kind of how they dealt with that. So as they introduced Anila, they went into her not paying the makeup artist that Toya had come and do her makeup. That was, it was a little touchy. I feel like Anila kind of touched on, and I watched Dr. Heavenly's live with Funky Deneva, where they were saying how Anila, she actually is very affluent. She has money, which, you know, not to, I hope I don't say this wrong, but most people of their culture, they have a good coin, okay? Allegedly, but in my opinion, most people of her culture, they not hurting for a coin, okay? So, you know, they basically gave her, you know, kudos that she has money. She can actually pay a makeup artist right then and there. She doesn't have to stall on payment, right? So she said that she felt ambushed, I guess, when Toya asked her on camera. She felt like, as her friend, that should be something that maybe they should have discussed off camera. And you know, I feel like that's true. You know, if you felt like, I feel like Toya was trying to embarrass her, because you know the cameras are here. You are a seasoned person on this show. Why are you asking that girl about whether she done paid the doggone makeup artist on the doggone camera? Like, come on, girl. Let's have a little couth. If that's your homegirl, you know she's never been on TV before. You know, this is her first go at it. Give her a little grievance, okay? Ask her later. And she was saying that she had already paid the makeup artist. But to Toya's defense, that is her, you know, she's asked this makeup artist to do Anila's makeup. So Anila, if the makeup artist did the services, you should have paid them right then and there. I mean, I don't care if you building a house. You know, at that moment, you know, now we all know you rolling in dough. You know, Funky Deneva and Dr. Heavenly done confirmed it, okay? But if you can be buying $3 million homes, ma'am, Miss Ma'am, you pay your makeup artist right then and there. I don't give a damn about you building a house, a horse barn, a universe. Pay them people, as my girl Mia Ray says, okay? Moving on. So Heavenly goes in, then Aneela goes into talking about what she would give everybody as a hashtag, okay? Because Aneela is a blogger, okay? So Aneela does, she blogs about different clothing boutiques, clothing, period, different things, whatever. This is her occupation. This is what people pay her to do. And as you can see, we're on YouTube now. Creators and bloggers, all of the same. This is a very lucrative career. Okay, so that's what she does. So Andy asked her to make up hashtags for each individual. So she put "drag you bout Daddy Couture" for Heavenly, "green with envy" for Jackie, "no new friends collection" for Simone, "bridal entanglement" for Contessa, which I felt a little shade behind that. Okay, and the U-Haul collection for Toya. Now, later on in the episode, Andy did ask Toya about whether she was moving from her home. So I can see where the U-Haul collection came from Aneela. So it's like, okay, bitch, are you moving out of the neighborhood or not? Okay, so we'll talk about that a little later. So then they talked about how it seemed like Toya, Toya brought Aneela on the show, but it seemed like she was kind of treating Aneela like a puppet. And in my opinion, I feel like Toya is a bully. Okay, she, to me, is the epitome of new money black people. Okay, and I feel like I can say this because clearly I'm black. All right, I know the black experience very well. All right, I think that for me, she is one of those people that has to let you know she has money. You gonna see that she has money, but we also gonna see when you looking a little broke, sis. Okay, because for me, this move of selling your house and making possibly $1 million off of it, when you look at closing costs and paying the realtors, paying all those fees and all that stuff, you need to be making more than $1 million off of this home. I'm just saying. And I feel like by her bringing Aneela on the show, Toya showed her ass this season, and I think that she wanted allies, hence why she brought Aneela, she brought Carrie, she brought Lisa Nicole or whatever. She brought all these people to be her lackeys on the show, and she really was lacking on the show. Charisma, character, personality. She really just ended up looking like an asshole, for real, in my opinion. Like, I feel like Toya really looked bad this season. She looks like a grade A hater, okay? And I just feel like she wanted Aneela to be like her little puppy dog throughout the season, just following her around, whatever the case may be, doing whatever she wanted her to do. But Aneela actually broke out and got her, homegirl came in on her own, okay? She made her own friends. She made connections with the other ladies, which frankly to me seems stronger than her connection with Toya, because I think that she was smart enough to kind of break down that Toya was using her as a puppet. Okay, so and then it seemed to me, I don't know what you guys think, it seemed to me that Simone was making excuses for Toya's behavior. Like, I felt like, everybody was coming for Toya and talking about how she was just really being stank this season. Like, she always had something to say. She was very negative. And Simone was like, oh, I feel, you should tell them what the reason was for why you were negative. And I'm like, Simone, no, I'm not buying it. Whatever you're selling right now that has Toya's name on it, I don't have the coins for it, because it's not going to go through. It's not going to go through, boo. I mean, it's not working, okay? Toya was a grade A bitch this season. Let's just be very clear, all right? She did not know how to talk to people. She was very belittling. I don't know if she was taking some new birth control from the last season when she was being hormonal and bitchy. Maybe she changed her damn birth control again. Hell, maybe COVID made her mad. Who knows? But something crawled up her ass and didn't come out, and we saw it, okay? And I digress. So, anyway, Toya finally apologizes to Aneela for being a jerk, frankly, just being mean to her or whatever. And they hugged it out and they moved on. So Quad finally comes out. Okay, so she comes out and she talks about her new home, her dating life, and how Toya was talking about her home and calling it a BS apartment. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that townhouse, if that's a BS apartment, I need to move to Atlanta and get me a BS apartment, because that thing was bomb. Okay, that thing was laid. All right. And Quad, her home always seems to look just as good as her outfits that she puts together. That woman can cook. She can decorate. I don't know what Greg was doing. He must have been really screwing up, because I don't know how he missed the mark with her. I'm just saying. And she's, very charismatic and funny as hell. So I don't know why she ain't got no man now, but maybe it's something I'm not seeing that I'm missing. Maybe it's a reason why, but we'll see, I guess. But they talked about her dating life and her living situation. And then, they started to go back to Toya and kind of trying to figure out why she was being so rude to everybody. And then they kind of dipped into how, with her talking about Quad's place of living, why she was acting like that. And then Toya proceeds to cry, talking about why she was so snappy with everyone, because she feels no one checked on her and Eugene. They didn't check on Eugene. Eugene is a ER doctor. And she felt like, nobody cared about Eugene, frankly. She felt like nobody checked in on him. He was, in her opinion, the most prone to COVID. And she just felt like, as these ladies are supposed to be her friends, she didn't feel like they were looking out for her, which I feel like that's a load of BS. Okay. Here's my thing. You guys will get to know me more as you watch my channel. I'm a Cancer. People always call us crybabies or whatever, but I call us the identifiers of your bullshit. Okay. And I saw through the bullshit. All right. Toya, you and your tears were worth nothing. Okay, that was an excuse for you to try to cover up for you, frankly, just being an asshole. You were being an asshole to your friends. You the same person that had to sit up here and apologize to Lisa Nicole for being a straight jerk to her, telling her basically to shut up on a live or something like that. You were just straight off rude to this grown woman. Like, they got a whole husband and 2 children. Okay, so you need to learn how to be a better friend, ma'am. And I don't know if it's because you think you got a little bit of coin that you can be stank nasty to people. And I'm just here to tell you that being stank nasty to people is not going to get people to stay your friend. Okay, so you're going to be lonely with bills. That's what you're going to be. So you need to knock it off and stop it, ma'am. I'm just saying. So she begins to cry, make the excuses for her behavior, and just really not own her shit, okay? And I saw Jackie was over there just kind of like, ugh. Because throughout the season, Jackie really was like wanting Toya to own her stuff. And frankly, me too. I wanted Toya to just simply own it. Stop. Because oh my God, the emotional wreck that she was in the beginning at the party at Heavenly's house was just unbelievable. Going over to the men and just being a hot mess. It was just a mess, okay? But anyway, she doesn't own her shit. So Dr. Jackie is more like, listen, this is how you apologize. I am sorry that I did XYZ, and I will not do blah, blah, blah anymore. And I hope you accept my apology. Basically giving her the guidelines of owning your shit. Okay? And so Toya finally apologizes and admits she was wrong in the correct manner to the group. And then we move on to talking about Toya's house. Okay? So she was saying that only reason she's going to wants to sell her house is because everybody in the neighborhood is making like $1 million+ profit off of their homes, and that she wants to be closer to the boys' schools. Okay. You love the boys' school, right? Why you ain't build a damn house close to their school, Toya? Something don't smell right. It smells like Eugene tired of working 24 hours a day. That's what it smelled like to me. Okay? Because you got this man working all day, okay, saving lives or, whatever, then coming home and cooking dinner for you and the family. And you complaining, which, aren't you a former school teacher, complaining that you have to teach your children? I don't understand. So with Eugene, you must got some good snapper or something between your legs, because I don't even know why this man puts up with your shit. Like, you are just a bill. You worse than the IRS. Okay, that's what you are. You are very expensive, and I just don't understand how he deals with you. So I, in my opinion, feel like you selling this house because you done realized you done bit off more than you can chew, and you ain't trying to be back in that IRS bag. Okay, so with that being said, they selling this house. All right, so they didn't talk about whether they had offers on the house, whether it's really happening or what, but I guess we'll see in the next season if we see Toya pop up in another damn house. But I'm hoping they done going on and downsize or something, or just admit it. Just admit that you ain't been making the right decisions with your coins, and that's it on that. Okay. Then Toya proceeds to apologize for calling Quad's townhome an apartment. Okay. And she said that, you know what? I would actually live there. It's a beautiful home. I love it. Quad goes in to talk about this new home that she has is literally as huge as a compound, and she's proud that she actually bought it herself. Okay. Then they went on, which it was very interesting. They had a whole lesbianist segment where, everybody was kissing each other. Quad talked about when she kissed. They talked about when Quad and Toya kissed. Then the Quad talked about when she kissed Anila, and then Quad was talking about how she liked kissing Simone all the time, and then Toya kissed Heavenly on the lips. Okay, so listen, everybody was kissing cousins in this segment of the episode. So, hopefully all these kisses help them kiss and make the hell up. Okay, so we'll see what happens in part 2 if that kissing show actually worked. Okay, so moving on, they went into recap Scott and Contessa's relationship. Okay, so here's where it gets deep. I am married as well. Okay, but when I look at Contessa, in my opinion, she gives me beat down, battered woman. Okay, now mind you, when I say beat down and battered, not that Scott is, allegedly putting his hands on her or anything like that. Not at all. I feel like emotionally she is bruised, battered, and done. She, throughout the season, has tried to be very logical with a person that is very illogical. Okay. And for him to be very educated, for him to be a doctor that frankly is helping save other people's lives, he couldn't be furthest from foolish. Okay. It's just a mess, in my opinion. Like, why would you lie to your wife and tell her that you're talking to a life coach? That is a woman, and you're not paying her just to piss her off, when clearly she's trying to do things to save your marriage. Then you have it as a joke, so to speak, that your girlfriend was calling in front of your children. Very, very highly inappropriate things going on here. Okay? Very inappropriate. And Scott, the last time I checked, your wife is banging. Okay? Contessa's body is bada bang, bada boom. Okay? That woman, people paying to look like her. I'm just saying. And everybody will say looks are not everything. We don't know what's going on in their household. But for this woman to try to save your marriage as much as she has, trying to get you, it just seems like you are more committed, Scott, to being stubborn than getting it done. And if you are supposed to be the man of the household and she is your rib, you are not right now you're not covering her as your as her husband. You're not covering your wife right now. You're exposing her to a bunch of your bullshit. That's what you're doing. And I'm just going to move on from that, and that's my opinion. I feel like Scott is really really tussling in the fire right now. And if it were me, I would definitely be contemplating divorce, because that stubbornness that he has with him, his inability to admit that they have problems and they need help, you're a doctor. People come to you because something is wrong in their body and they need help. Your relationship needs help. So you need a doctor, okay? A relationship doctor to help you fix it. I don't know what's wrong with the Black community where we think therapy is a curse word, and that's our problem. We're holding on to so much anger and stupidity and just dumb shit. Talk to somebody, be real about it, get it out, okay, and move on. Move on. Mental health is serious, and we need to really learn how to deal with it and not be childish about it. That's what these doctors are for, okay? So yeah, in my opinion, Contessa just seems so beat down and battered. That season finale, she, was like apologetic to everybody that she got them involved, but really she got them involved because she wanted help. She wants her marriage to work. But when you're dealing with somebody that seems like you're talking to a brick wall and they're not trying to help get you guys better, that can be an uphill battle. So I pray for Scott and Contessa, and I really, really hope that they can navigate a way to get back to a healthy marriage, okay? Because from what I'm seeing on Instagram versus what we're seeing on this reunion is telling two different stories. So I love to see how the plot ends at some point. All right. Contessa goes on to talk about how she feels Scott has inappropriate conversations with other women. And so she asks, how do you, because Simone kind of chimes in and says, oh, that wouldn't be happening because XYZ. And she kind of revisits when her and Cecil were having problems, and how Cecil was, she felt like he was a little too close to the golf buddy, and how Cecil knew that was the deal breaker for their marriage. So he just cut all ties with the golf buddy, which I feel like that happy wife, happy life term gets overly used in some situations. But in this situation, if it's a make or break for your marriage, you got to do what you got to do. And Cecil did what he had to do. And it seems like they've been on the right track ever since. So with that being said, Scott, do what you got to do. Get your wife back. Keep your family. Don't let your stubborn nature overshadow your happiness, because it just seems like you're choosing stupidity over longevity in the relationship. Okay. Then they talk. Simone continued to talk about how she makes Cecil respect her. And if they don't, she brings up divorce, I guess. So I hope that people don't use divorce as a tool to make people do things. But I get, how she used it as a tool with, this woman, because she felt like it was inappropriate, their relationship. But I just hope that doesn't lead into that being a consistent tool to make somebody do what you want. I don't know. I don't agree with that. But anyway. Then, Andy asks, has she thought about divorce? Has Contessa thought about divorce? And Contessa proceeded to say, how she feels that everybody there, she considers to be her friends, and she appreciates them not saying anything, but she actually had filed for separation. So Quad goes on to talk about how Contessa did file for separation from Scott. Now, what I was a little confused about is Scott is in the back like he about to flip the damn couch, or he in the Dave Chappelle video where Rick James was jumping on couches. Like, he looked like he was that mad. He was big mad. Okay, like, and then I see where he supposedly comes out. I'm just like, Scott, how delusional are you, sir? How delusional are you? You about to lose your wife, okay? You about to lose your wife because you's a damn fool. You acting crazy, sir. Like, don't act like you care. Don't act like you care now. You want to, like, Scott really strikes me. He playing. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like, the husbands, I think that they're starting to see his bullshit, okay? Because men see other men's bullshit. Let's just be very clear. They know because they ass be lying. So they know when your ass is lying. And they looking at him like, you really do got them women in your phone, don't you? I mean, hell, he showed them a picture of the woman that he was talking about. He wanted to make the damn receptionist, but he knew Contessa wasn't going to be having it. Scott. Stop. Just stop. Just quit. Do the right thing by your wife, sir. Because what you're doing right now is wrong as the day is long. Okay? Contessa, you got a banging. You are banging. You are intelligent. You are amazing. Okay? You don't have to take this, girl. You ain't got to take this. Now, I, as a married woman, I am not out here, bragging or pushing people towards divorce. But you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make their ass drink it. And I have heard that all my daggone life, okay? So you continue to try to make this man fix this marriage and he's not. You got a whole lot of life ahead of you. And guess what? The way you look and as bomb as you are, it don't matter that you got them 3 kids. You will find somebody else. Trust and believe that. And they will appreciate you. Okay? So, Scott, get your shit together before you lose your wife. All right, y'all. I'll holla. I'll come back on. I watch Married to Medicine. I'm now watching Encore, which I think is amazing. Shout out to Carlos King. That guy knows what to do, okay, with these reality shows. And I also watch all of the Housewife shows. So I'll probably be doing videos on all the Housewife shows, okay? So tune in back to my channel, Shay Renee Online, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.